I hope.
Yeah, Christine. In the meantime, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhaved. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes, let even Chris. Oh, Krishna has joined. My eyes were closed. We were all waiting for you. You see that? You did a miracle. So, yeah, I will talk in detail, the sense organ, mind, intellect. You see that? So, sense organ takes the first step. So, when I opened my eyes, I saw Christina is there. Kate was too much concerned. Oh, Christina is not there. Let her join. And then what happens? If what sense organ likes, mind chases, right? And if the mind continues to chase, intellect is hijacked. And when the intellect is hijacked, we destroy our life. The greatest masses of Eastern wisdom. I and Brandy, we were talking in detail yesterday. Now see that. Now see the problem. What problem happens? Oh, what you are looking? I have a beautiful Facebook account. I also posted my beard. So 120 people liked on a one day. Now see, now so the mind has, if the mind starts chasing, I do it just for promotion. And my team member in India, they do everything. They post all kinds of uh, videos. And so now see that if the mind continues to chase what the sense organ likes, the intellect will be hijacked. And when the intellect is hijacked, what will happen? My behavior, my attitude, my action will change. Look at those kids, fanatic about social media. So, how to help them and how to help myself? Just reverse the process. What is the meaning of reversing the process? Let me first think if it is right or good before I ask the mind to follow. I am leaving there. You have to think of it. I will talk in Gita. So that is the journey. So the same thing Patanjali did in a different way. So first the Patanjali says in first four sutras, understand what is yoga. Do you ever realize that where the meditation takes place in you? It takes place in the intellect. Don't think that meditation happens, in the God. Meditation takes place in the intellect. So, what is yoga? We have already studied. Then the mind, now you see that in a different perspective. Patanjali Yoga, Patanjali says, now understand what is the cause of suffering, why you don't succeed. From Yoga Sutra, from 1.5 means fifth to 11th Sutra. What he is saying the same thing. Your mind has started wandering, it is chasing the things that you have never thought whether it is necessary, whether it is right, whether you are carried away by attachment or detachment, likes and dislikes. So these are known as five objective states of the mind. Nothing more than that. You see, how you understand that? If you don't keep your intellect awakened, if you don't make your intellect a friend who supports you all the time, no yoga can take place. Do whatever you want to do. You get obsessed with doing a headstand pose. A wonderful, beautiful woman in New Jersey, she got 3 surgeries of the spine. Intellect must support it. Anyhow, then where we went, then he says, what exactly is the method? What is the practice? Now you see, I always use the word regular practice with the wisdom. So where with the wisdom is located? In the intellect. I don't use the intellect. So what will happen? The mind and the sense organ are already outward. You will not understand. So then you say, I have practiced your meditation. No result. You are responsible. I'm not. I'm not. So you know the 5 sutras from sutra number 12 to 16. So then he gives an understanding that you can pass through the 4 meditation stages. That is known as the higher meditation, and the highest meditation ultimately awakens you to the real self. But it is not happening. I contacted many teachers. I did kundalini, I did mindfulness, I did blah, blah, blah. So the master says, you are not a seeker. So from the 19th sutra to 23rd sutra, he explains who is the highest seeker, who is the mediocre seeker, who is the lowest seeker. It does not mean that you cannot progress. You see that the approach of yoga is totally different. Huh? You have a master's in economy and then you go, no, I want to be a counselor. No, you cannot. The university refuses you. Here, there is no refusal. We don't refuse. We say, no, Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Purvak, Iteresham. Acquire 5 qualities. Alex, keep smiling. What happened today? so, so acquire the 5 qualities and then ultimately you become a seeker. And I have already explained you. So now see, then okay, where we are going, suddenly the intellect asks questions, where we are going. You have been talking about the real self. What is this real self? Sorry. So the master explains what is real self. Do you remember anything? Who you are? No, I have lot of stress nowadays. Because you don't remember who you are. That is why you have a stress. See the arrangement, see the way our masters guide us. Simple answer. Why you have anxiety, stress, duality, conflict, frustration? Because in the intellect, you don't have the knowledge of who you are. Forget about you succeed in mindfulness or meditation, but keep that knowledge. Who am I? I am beyond all the actions, fruits of all the actions. Whatever action I'm doing, I'm beyond the speaker and listener. You see, that is what the master is saying. Klesha karma vipak ashaya param rashtah. You know, do you remember that? Think of it. What happens if you don't remember your house? You get little panicky. You have parked your car outside the Walmart. Oh, where I have parked, you forget. What happens to us? And if I forget my real self, what is going to happen? Understand that. I know you are very busy. You don't have time to remember. It is okay. So the Patanjali answers, we know, are you a seeker or not? So people come in my group session, they leave it, so it's okay. That's a part. They don't leave because of me, they leave because of themselves. So you see that in perhaps in 24 to 29, six sutras, it gives you a detailed understanding of what is the real self. That real self in you and me and everyone is the same, is one. Now he says, can you practice? Designator is Om. Okay, designator is Om, then practice Om meditation. So, Om meditation removes not only all the obstacles but helps you to succeed in mindfulness or meditation. Why? So that you realize your real self. Now he says, oh, you don't like? Master says, Patanjali says, I know you are not a seeker. So let me explain you how you are not a seeker. What is the answer? 30th Sutra? 9 obstacles that we discussed in detail. Do you remember? Tell me honestly, what was the first thought regarding the current session you had in the morning? Okay, I will do it. I should not do it. Oh, I'm little feeling tired. They come under 9 obstacles. Then you are getting an answer. Yoga is a way of life. Way of life is that you are living from moment to moment, understanding, knowing these principles, regulating your life based on these principles. How dare you, crazy mind, say me that I don't feel like doing it? At the outset, I started reverse the process. First intellect, then mind, then sense organ. Entire journey is this. You can do it. You don't want to do it. 9 obstacles. Simple answer. Simple answer. It is not me that I'm giving you. It is in your intellect. If these principles are located, you know how to be happy in any given situation. Whether there is an adversity or opportunity, you are happy. This is the message of yoga. Yoga is not that you're doing headstand posture, and I'm just giving you a background because the next sutra depends on that. So now he says that Well, in 32 Sutra, he says, are you ready to practice after understanding all the obstacles? Can you go back and understand what is exactly is the practice? What we are looking for? Yes, I can go. I can go. I like to go, but I'm not able to do it. Huh? Why I'm not able to do it? So you don't recall the nine obstacles. Don't you know that, I have lot of work to do. I'm very busy. So the master now says we are coming to Sutra number 33. So now you see that he says, okay, you are very busy. You meet lot of people every day. Huh? And your mind also says that, what they say, your mind says, that guy is crazy. I don't like that people. Couple of people who likes to talk to me personally in their group. They don't want to join this group. But at the same time, they are listening to all the talk I give and post it on YouTube. They don't want to think what is happening to my intellect, what is happening to my mind, why I'm doing it, what I have to do with other people. You might also be doing sometime. I know. So that's why I'm talking. Two people, totally opposite, against each other. They have strong likes and dislikes, and they both are very good friends of mine. And they also know, both the person know that I talk to both of them. So after a few weeks, they have stopped talking against each other. I said, I'm not interested. I'm only interested that we all three should meet together. Why it is happening? First nine obstacle. Go back to the sutra number 5 to 11. My mind is wandering. When the mind is wandering, the intellect is hijacked. I'm not able to understand, and then I live in delusion. So now the master says, why don't you understand? Patanjali says, I'm not saying. Huh? I, including the entire group, are exactly equal on the same page. So I'm just suggesting what Patanjali is saying. Patanjali is saying that now you do not understand. Okay, understand this sutra, that will help you. What is the sutra? The sutra number 33. Maitri Karuna Mudita Upekshanam Sukha Dukha Punya Punya Vishayanam Bhavanat Chitta Prasadanam. So now what happens? The people normally mistake, okay, friendliness, compassion, joy, and indifferent or equanimity. But what is most important in this sutra? The last two words, Bhavanat Chitta Prasadanam. Bhavanat means cultivating attitude of cheerfulness in the mind. That is more important. How? By these four factors. So we don't pick up this. Okay, friendly, loving meditation outside, hating meditation inside. Because mind is not in the state of cheerfulness. Mind is not calm. How can I have loving meditation? You know, we talk a lot of loving meditation. Uh, other so, so you see that some people in our country has taken the loving meditation to a sensual pleasure. They talk of tantra meditation. Why? Because you don't realize the goal. The goal is bhavanat, Bhavanatah chitta prasadanam. That is the main thing. The last one, cultivating the attitude in the intellect of cheerfulness. Prasadanam. Prasad means cheerfulness, calmness, mind. How? By these four factors, four attitude, four attributes. Huh? Are you getting it? So you have to understand this sutra with the reference. Why? Ask your question, why? The answer we get in the previous sutra. The 9 obstacles causes the distractions of the mind, and the distraction in the mind fails meditation. So the answer is clear. So by cultivating the attitude of cheerfulness and calmness in the mind stops my mind wandering and distraction. Answer is yes. And then you practice meditation, it will help you. You see the application. Every sutra, the way Patanjali explains, or any master explains, it can be applied here and now. That is why I just pointed where Alex was. Cheerfulness. Now you are okay. You started. Are you looking with a smile or anger? Okay. No, smile. Yeah. So you see that? See, understand that part. Still, after understanding, I cannot be cheerful. You have understood, we all are intelligent. We have understood the state of cheerfulness. And still, I cannot live into that state. So I gave you the answer. The first answer is that the intellect is hijacked. Second answer, we have strong likes and dislikes. I gave you second example. I love both of them. They are two great friends of mine. They support me. They help me. And still, they don't meet each other. I have to meet them separately. So they dare not to say anything against each other. I'm not interested. So you can minimize the likes and dislikes. Who causes the likes and dislikes? Sense organs. Who follows it? Mind. So if we reverse the process, you are in the state of cheerfulness. That is, one master says in the Upanishad. Patanjali says that let me make you understand practically, in action, in behavior, in attitude. Huh? The moment your mind says, means my mind says, John is not good. So let me remain indifferent. Instantly, first cheerfulness inside, and then I look at him. The mind says, no, no, no. Intellect says, yes, yes, yes. Take the same example. The John is highly religious, righteous. So I should express happiness. I should not be jealous. See that. See that. So John meets with a happiness. Okay, so let me be friendly. So intellect has to take a quick decision. But that intellect, if it is hijacked, how can it take a right decision? Are you getting it? Hijacked. You don't like, then what? I have 1 million likes on Facebook. See that? Delusion? You have a delusion. Marry with 1 million people on the Facebook. Make your life better. It's a kind of delusion. You see, we have to apply that day to day life, every day. One day, honey says, no, hell with you. No, I don't like you. Indifferent, equanimity. After all, he or she is my honey. No problem. Calm down. Would you like to have a cup of tea? Then we will sit. And then I ask you why you don't like me. You have been liking me for so many years. This is what is the state of cheerfulness. Cheerfulness is not that have a big smiley face. It must come from inside. Understand? I'm just, guiding you, suggesting you these ideas so that you are going to be teachers, so that you convey this message. Whatever the sutra you are teaching, it becomes a talk therapy without degree, with a disclaimer. You are not a psychotherapist. But you are on a better footing with these principles. But without cultivating the attitude of cheerfulness in you, you cannot guide. That too is I have seen that in my life only. I have seen that. I understood the principle, but I had a big face. I used to be big ego. I know the principle. When you have that attitude of ego, then obviously you separate yourself from others. And I faced those challenges. I tell you frankly. I had a lot of those challenges, but gradually, when you understand, you pick up the point, oh, it is not happening. Let me try first in the family, then try with my friends, then try with my whom the mind feels enemies. And then it became smooth process. Then you reach to that state. So the master is saying, cultivate now, cultivate four qualities from moment to moment in life. That is what I summarized. Four qualities in thought, in speech, in action, to keep the mind in the state of cheerfulness. Sense organ says, I don't like John, for example. So will the state of cheerfulness will remain? No. Let me invoke intellect. Intellect, don't allow the sense in the mind to be hijacked by the intellect. Intellect, what I have to do with the John? John has unique life. I have uniqueness. We all are living together. The existence is sharing everything to both of us. You see, you should have those thoughts before you cultivate these four qualities. Otherwise, the strong likes and dislikes and the ideas of hatred, pain, and the suffering will continue. How can you be in the state of cheerfulness? So, first thing to know that a seeker is always cheerful because he knows clearly he is treading the path to permanent happiness. You see, all these sutras are related. Huh? Clear. Second thing is that the seeker knows by being cheerful, he does not allow the mind to dictate our life. Outer conditions and events. The third thing that the seeker takes the world lightly. Take the world lightly. Why to take the world seriously? Why? This world lays with the duality, opposing forces. Have you seen that someday you have taken extra care to your near and dear ones or to even to your friend? And that friend and near and dear ones says, then what? You did nothing to me. It is their perception. It is bound to happen. That is the very nature of the world. What should I do? Remain indifferent. Look at the principle. I'm helping you to grasp the principle deeply. Who can grasp this principle? I remember we say eightfold noble path, right? In Buddhism. Four noble truth, right? Why we say noble? We don't say noble in Patanjali. So noble is equal to seeker. If you are a seeker, then only you can understand the Four Noble Truths. Otherwise, intellectual understanding. Word is suffering, cause of suffering, absence of suffering, method to end suffering. I got it. How I got it? In suffering, with suffering, continues in my life. I did not understand. So noble word is used for I am a seeker. Simple. So in every path, the Buddha reminds us, okay, are you a seeker? Then you can get the right knowledge. Then you understand what is right livelihood. Then you understand what is right thought, speech, and action. Cheerfulness in mind always succeeds in mindfulness. Patanjali declares when you live into that state of cheerfulness, then you simply close your eyes. Any teacher guides you, you will succeed. Understanding the very process of friendliness, compassion, happiness, and disinterest. It is good to note down there in Gita we are studying, but we are not studying all the 6th chapter yet. So what Gita says. You see that every teacher has to say the same thing, but in a different way. That gives you a deeper insight. When the mind is thoroughly quiet, then there comes upon the seeker the highest, the stainless, the passionless bliss of the real self that has become the supreme self. What is the meaning? Prashant manasam. Prashant or prasad. Cheerfulness, almost the same thing. So when the mind is really quiet, the quiet mind is the happy mind. It does not mean that it does not have a thought. Quiet mind. Where is that quiet mind? It is not running after likes and dislikes, unnecessary, unwanted. You go to the mall. I like this dress. Mind follows. Intellect is hijacked. Plastic card comes out of your pocket. I have gone with a lot of beautiful women also. So so it's a play for me. I enjoy. Oh, do you want to go with me? Yes. And after a week, they returned. Now, why they returned? The intellect did not take the right decision at the point of buying. Intellect was hijacked. It has a strong likes and dislikes. Just see, understand. Simple, clear. So, Master Gita is saying, understand, quiet mind. Quiet mind means intellect takes the action. Did you understand? I believe you understand. But even if you not, or little confusion is there, pick up the another Sutra in the 17th chapter of the Gita. A clear and a calm gladness of the mind, gentleness, silence, self-control, the purifying of the whole temperament. This is called the austerity of the mind. So follow the austerity of the mind. So if you do not understand what do you mean by the friendliness, compassion, joy, and indifference, and if you understand the austerity of the mind from the Gita, they both are equal. They both are the same. Simply exchange, different words are used. Clear and calm, gladness of the mind, gentleness in my thought, speech, and action, silence, self control. Self control means what? That women went there, and after that, these four dresses I bought, it was costing $120 in Kohl's. We met again, and she said, I like two, but I like four, but it is better to return two. First week. In the second week, she returned all the four. I didn't say anything. Unless you ask me, then only I will say, otherwise I will not. Austerity of the mind. Austerity. You see the application of these sutras in day-to-day life. So, if you don't understand those four parts, understand this one. Constant discipline and education of the mind to help your mind to move into the state of the calmness, so that the mind do not start changing the sense organ. Sense organ has likes and dislikes. Just reversing the process. Sense organ with their likes and dislikes makes you cry. It is intellect cannot, because intellect is hijacked by the sense organ, so it has to cry. You see, that is how I understand people. Whether you say me or not, yoga helps you to understand. It's an in-depth psychology. Now another sutra first, and then we will understand these. Another verse in the sixth chapter. Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahita sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayo. When one has conquered oneself and attained to the calm of the perfect self-mastery and self-possession, then is the supreme self in man founded and poised in cold and heat, pleasure and pain, as well as in honor and dishonor. This is an interpretation, translation by Sri Aurobindo. I've told you that I use his translation. So, what it means, this likes and dislikes, pain and the pleasure. I was just asking Kate, what is the temperature there? You see, that has to be natural. Oh, it's very hot in Arizona. So, okay, tell Arizona that let there be a snow. What will be there in Arizona? Hot. So I should not allow my sense organ and the mind to be influenced by pain and pleasure, hot and cold, and honor and dishonor that we get from the world. What will happen? The intellect is ready to take charge of our life. Now understand why Patanjali says these four attitudes: friendliness, compassion, joy, and indifference, but I normally translate as equanimity. Because if I say indifference, Lara will question. I say equanimity. I use a different word. Forget about indifference. Indifference, does not mean the dryness of the mind in yoga. I'm indifferent to my neighbor. So does it mean dryness? When I go out, when I see him, I wish him. So let it be an equanimity. Now see, understand. The whole purpose of these four attitudes to be cultivated in the mind to invoke sattva guna in the mind 24 by 7. Sato guna. Do you know the three gunas? You all are yoga teachers. Sat, Rajas, and Tamas.
We're going to go over the gunas next week.
Okay. Yeah. Guna. Oh, guna. So guna, sato guna. What is the quality of sato guna? Knowledge and joy. Body. Dominant guna is tamas, tamoguna. Prana, the life. Dominant guna is rajoguna. Mind. Dominant guna is satoguna. But why tamo and rajoguna has entered into the mind? Go back to the sutras, find out the cause of wandering, distraction in the mind, the five subjective states, the five objective states. Go back to the nine obstacles. That is why mind has reversed its position because of my way of living life. No one else is responsible for your sorrow and suffering. My master used to stress so much on that. I am responsible for my sorrow and suffering, and I am responsible for my peace and happiness. So, here, briefly understand in a different way. I think I discussed about it. This mind example to understand metaphor that in a natural state of the mind, 90% it is satoguna, natural state of the mind. 7% rajoguna, 3% tamoguna. For the sake of understanding. Normally, this position is reversed. We have 90% either rajoguna or tamoguna. We have 3% satoguna. Why it has reversed? Because of delusion, because of these nine obstacles, because of these distractions. So four qualities enters naturally into your life when you follow the satoguna. That is another way. My master used to say, "O mind, be at peace, this will also pass." It has become a mantra in my life. "O mind, be at peace, this will also pass." One day Corona has to go. It was not there before. It is here now. It will not be there in the future. When it will go, that is none of your business. Take precaution. See? Wrong thinking makes you depressed. When it will go, when I will get married, when I will divorce. There is a long. That intellect is. So my master used to say, "Oh mind, be at peace, this will also pass." You sit down every day, even for 5 minutes. "Oh mind, be at peace, this will also pass." Now I have to settle a score with that friend. I have been saying friend, and now she made me crazy. "Oh mind, be at peace, this will also pass." Constantly. Who does this? Intellect. That is why I started the topic with the intellect. Sense organ cannot do it. It continues to live with the likes and dislikes. Mind, the desire is the home of the mind. Likes and dislikes is the home of the sense organ. The wisdom is the home of intellect. That comes from another teaching. What Swami Vivekananda, did you still remember about Swami Vivekananda? When he came in 1893, he did not teach headstand pose. He teach the real yoga. So many people have made their organizations and they are not interested. Yes, yes.
Will you repeat that?
Swami Vivekananda taught real yoga.
No. Desire is.
Oh, the home of desire is the mind. The home of likes and dislikes are the sense organs. And the home of wisdom is the intellect. But if you already know, you can complete the sentence. So Swami Vivekananda says he uses the word must. He is straight. He says no beating the bush. So you can remember this. We must feel friendship for all. We must be compassionate to the unfortunate, happy with the happy, and indifferent to the bad. It is how we treat all objects that are presented to us in the world. He uses the word must. Because every master has their own way of teaching and guiding. Must. Now, if you are a seeker and I use the word must, you will understand. But these two different good friends of mine, but these two are unfriendly to each other. I cannot say must. You know why. So sometimes teachers are made handicapped. Why? Otherwise, you will get upset, you will react. You will say, okay, you are favoring that, so I will not talk to you. In that context, Swami Vivekananda says, you must. To whom he is addressing, you are a seeker. You are a seeker. From today, no enemy in your life. Try to find out the ways you can talk to those people who has been branded as enemies by your mind. You will see a change. Now let us understand what it means by cultivating. We said cultivating the attitude, cultivating the qualities in the mind, from where the word cultivation has come. Agriculture. Cultivate. The word cultivate means to prepare the land for raising crops. Raising crops of these four qualities. So what is the field? The field is the mind. But if you do not understand the field properly, how can you start? So when you understand, you break this soil in the mind that is heavily conditioned, that does not want to break its ground. No. It is my enemy once and for all. No, drop it. Drop it. You see that? Cultivating bhavanat chitta prasadanam. So, normally we say, okay, I am friendly to everyone. Why? Because I am a yogi. That does not work in your life. You have to understand it clearly. So it means breaking the soil, making it soft, putting fertilizer, satoguna, water, sowing the seed, then you sow the seed, and ultimately you first experience the cheerfulness. Second, that expression is friendliness. Do you see that? It is not that, no, I am friendly to you, Brandy, so that will not work. I'm already stressed. Do you understand? No, I'm friendly to Alex, No, it will not work. Alex will say, okay, I understand. You're cheating me. No, don't you see that those thought pops up in the mind? Very clear. First, you see that first inside, in inner mind is now full of cheerfulness. You don't accept my friendship. I'm still cheerful. Do you see that? That is the real understanding of the cultivation. When cultivating applies to the mind, it means to loosen or break up the field of the mind that has been heavily conditioned, habituated to perceive the world and replace it with the qualities required to calm and empty the mind. Otherwise, you see, ask a question. Oh, it is so easy. You have taught so difficult sutras before. So from today, I will be friendly to everyone. I will remain indifferent to the sinners. So my mind has branded. There are six people, three people are sinners. One is happy. So I branded without understanding my own mind, without entering into the state of the cheerfulness. How it is possible? I'm always running in my life. I reached to the studio and I said, let us start loving meditation. So I love running in the meditation also. So don't take these sutras for granted. If you are a seeker, if you are a yoga teacher, and what will happen if you are practicing it, it will add a beauty to your class to whom you are teaching. I'm adding one more point here. Friendliness, compassion, joy or happiness or equanimity, they are in fact expression of the real self. They are the manifestation of the real self in the intellect. So when you start practicing, that is why you experience the state of cheerfulness and calmness. So it means you have already prepared the ground in the mind and the intellect. Now I am ready to express these four qualities. Don't you see? If you can bring them little more at the primary level, Brandy, it can help the kids. It can help those, you know, people who are braggers with the ego. When the people are egoistic, its mind is very hard. The intellect does not want to accept other is right. My way is the only way. You see, when you introduce these principles in such a way, come on, do you have real self? Do you have conscience? See what happens. Yes, I have. So then they start breaking up their ego. It is applicable to everyone. Keep a smile, John. So now comes Maitri, the first quality. Now we should understand one after the other. Maitri means friendliness. Maitri is a Sanskrit word. Metta is a Pali word. Pali and Sanskrit. There are offshoot of Sanskrit language is Pali and Prakrit. There are two other languages, Prakrit and Pali. They are offshoot of Sanskrit. Means they were created from the Sanskrit language. So Maitri, I use the Sanskrit word. It means friendliness. It also means loving kindness. It also means amity. It means also goodwill. Huh? In Buddhism, we say loving meditation that results in compassion meditation, Karuna. It is easier said than done. What is? Yeah, friendliness. If I am friendly to myself, I can be friendly to anyone. You see that? Kate has opened. Kate wants to ask any question? No. Uh, so, so you see that loving meditation. Simply thinking of may everyone be my friend will not work until we understand clearly why the mind does not want to work with the qualities it inherited naturally. Did I tell you 90% mind is in the Satoguna? So I have to uncover. I have to uncover. I have to remove the dust of Rajo and Tamoguna on the mind. Friendliness is already there. Is the orange tree in your patio is not friendly to you? Think in that way. It is. You cannot say orange tree is a dead matter. It's a living being. So what is required to cultivate the quality of friendliness? Huh? The mind in ignorance, understand the same. The intellect is hijacked. So I'm using the word mind. Mind in ignorance keeps impression of malice, hatred, separatedness, and resistance to the real self. Take the same example of my two great friends. They don't want to come together. They always want to meet me separately. Okay, meet me separately. So I still carry the impression of malice, hatred, separatedness, resistance inside. No, 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 no. No, no. I know, teacher. You are my teacher. One person said, I don't have any malice against that person, but still I feel it is better not to meet. You are rationalizing. Don't tell me. But I don't say anything to them. I said, very good. I understand. Do you understand my teacher? I said, yes, I understand my teacher, my student. You have to go a little deeper. You can change, even by this particular sutra. The mind is educated. Friendliness now. Answer. The mind is educated. Friendliness by thoughts, by mantra that replaces impressions of unfriendliness. You see the sorry state of affairs with me. I'm so helpless with these two friends. They are my friends. Why I'm helpless? Because I cannot tell them, please, honey, you think of the other honey that person is also your honey, like I am. What is the solution? The mind is educated, friendliness by thoughts, by mantra. I cannot ask one to think of being friend with the other. Why? Now I know what to do. You are my teacher, but I know what to do. Very good. Do whatever you want to do. Continue to suffer. That is why our journey asks that you have to be a seeker. Seeker means you follow the teacher without question to bring about a change. Without a question means those questions which causes you the suffering, but you are clear in your head. Eastern. That is what, I chanted. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everyone be happy. Except that person whom I'm not talking. Come. You have destroyed the mantra. Understand practically how easy it is and how difficult it is. Sarve santu niramaya. Let everyone be healthy except that guy. So then what I say, I told both of them, at least, why don't you include yourself? So they have included. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everyone be happy. I have included myself. I thought that at least someday their mind will think of that other person also. And they have yet to think. They are very intelligent, extremely intelligent. Yoga says, hell with your that kind of intelligence. I don't say to them, but I know. If they watch my YouTube video, they will say that, okay, you're talking about me. So you see, I'm not telling their name. The practice of cultivating the friendliness from moment to moment. That is another way. What is that secret? I hate Christina. No, let Christina be my friend from moment to moment. Moment to moment. Next moment. I don't allow my mind even to think of unfriendliness, enmity, malice against anyone. Why? Because I am selfish to myself. Why I am selfish to myself? Because I want to be happy with myself. That is why I am saying no, no, no. No enmity. No. I am aware. That is the meaning of living in the present moment. I have heard millions of times for the last 16 years in our country. In India, not many people use this live in present, be mindful. This is the meaning of being mindful. Be friendly to those who are happy. So, one way, there is an easy way. Constantly remember this. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Huh? Mondays and Thursdays meditation I used to give for almost 6, 7 months. So you see that out of that group, I think 2 or 3 people, they started reciting that mantra 24 by 7 while they are going on a walk. I didn't say them. But I don't compare with others that they are the real seekers. They are the seekers. So, what is going to happen? Their mind has become cheerful. And now I am ready to express friendliness to everyone. I went to Barcelona. That's my personal experience. It may not be true, but I went to meet one of my students long back who met me in 93, working for European Union in Jakarta. Just in 2017, no, 18, I was there. I normally go twice for. So I have adopted. It is a very good attitude in America. Hey, how are you? The moment you go out, even to the strangers, that's a wonderful attitude. At least what happens next, that is different. So same attitude, I came out of my friend's house and I said, "Hey, how are you?" And he started looking with a big face. I said, "What happened to you?" And Maria, my friend, said, "No, no, no, you need not to say this. We don't use that. We don't have that kind of a greeting. Everyone is, having a big face, walking in the street." So sometime our culture also helps us. And we all are Americans. Let our American culture help with the yoga. First, cheerfulness inside. How are you, Alex? Not just habitual. Introduce, that means you are living in the present. Introduce. That just came to my mind. Did you understand that? We even wish near and dear ones, you wake up in the morning, hey, how are you, honey? Internally, your mind is not in the state of friendliness, and you say, hey, how are you, honey? It happens, I know. Many people told me. You cannot say no. Many people told me their stories. So can I do it? Why you should do it? Because you are utterly selfish to yourself. Why utterly selfish? You want to change yourself. You want to be cheerful. Become selfish. I have to change myself. Check. Wake up in the morning. Wait. Check. I'm aware. Yes, I'm happy. How are you, honey? I can bet you your expression, your thought, your speech will be very soft and gentle. And that will have an impact on them. Charity begins at home. So if you have none, you are, say, I know your mind may be thinking, if you are single, then sit down with a close your eyes. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everyone be happy. From my family, near and the dear ones. Huh? Include me also, and everyone. Just think of it. I'll be happy if you include me. So now come to the second one, Karuna. Karuna means compassion. Compassion. Karuna translates as a compassion, feeling of active sympathy. I'm using different words so that active sympathy and concern. And if I translate again, awareness without getting influenced by external condition. Remember this. I normally like to watch whenever I have time, Discovery Channel or Animal Planet. So I enjoy and I see that how to apply those principles. So yesterday I was watching that, Australia Zoo. There's a girl. I was totally upset. That eagle fell down. Why you should be upset? That is not compassion. But I have started taking care of it. Active sympathy. So I'm very upset. Then better don't practice yoga if you are upset. Compassion has no element of being upset. It's a gentle affection. You are responsible if you are in compassion. I just remember a great master, J. Krishnamurti. I loved him. I met him, John, a couple of times. Long back in 72, 73. And I was a small, 75. And I continued meeting him, listening to him. I loved his expression, his interpretation of responsibility. So he says, responsible means to move with affection. It is my responsibility to move with affection to anything and everything in life translates into compassion. It just came to my mind. Karuna extends to every being without bias or preferences. The seeker avoids, I have specifically saying, the seeker avoids and prevents and dissolves fear, painful condition, frustration, emotional upset that you perceive outside by the practice of compassion that leads to the cheerfulness of the mind. What happens? For example, can I take your example, Christina? Okay. So she spoke about it, so I'm not taking any example which is hidden. So she started crying. So if the compassion is that it is simply a sympathy, then I should also start crying. Okay, Krishna, don't cry. You are such a wonderful person. No, that is not compassion. Understand. You remain in the state of cheerfulness. You are mindful inside. You allow that cheerfulness to express in the state of compassion outside. Are you getting it? Normally, what happens, you listen minimum 10, 15 times. And every time you listen and think of it, think of it, think of it, think of it. And one day it intellects to the click. Done. Then it is irreversible process. So that is why we say, do you understand? Did you understand if you go back to the sutra where the practice is explained? The very practice means the regularity, continuity, sincerity with love. You do the practice. It will happen. Anybody can change. You're listening. Okay, listening. I have understood. No, something is missing. Let me listen to it again. That is how it happens. Cultivating compassion. Karuna is a mental quality. I'm specifying goes against the painful condition, frustration, and emotional upsets. It is developed by practice of, can you guess, discernment and what is and not what should be. When we perceive the things as it is, we drop unwanted thoughts, feelings in the mind to superimpose on the natural state of the mind, and the compassion is the result. The first step is to check mind if it is cheerful in events with people and conditions so that the word does not enter into the mind. Another way to see that I always repeat. Second step is to allow the mind to have a right perception by discernment. Third step is to move by thought, speech, and action towards people, events, and things in day to day life. Fourth step is to make a choice if we can help others suffering that will cultivate the feeling of compassion. I should have helped John by $1 million. I don't have it. So what I start doing it? Wrong interpretation. So let me earn $1 million. So now I earn it. My mind says, how can I give $1 million to Jan? I was thinking, I was compassionate before. Now I am not. Why? Because I have it. That is what happens to a lot of people. Did you understand? Are you getting it? No. I remember something of a. We don't take action in haste, in compassion. Because if you take action in a haste, in ignorance, and move emotionally to help each and every one, you get ultimately frustrated. Now, I've been so much compassionate to you, Randy, and you cheated me. That is not compassion. Compassion doesn't expect and demand anything. So, why see, first your head is 100% clear, and now you are compassionate to the others. It will help you. Do you remember the story of a great compassion by Buddha to the mother? Do you remember? Mother whose son died, she approached to Buddha. Do you remember? John, do you remember? A perfect example of a compassion. Think of it again and again and again. See that how I can act, speak, and think like Buddha. Buddha remained totally detached, dispassionate. So, how the dispassion comes? By the practice of discernment. So, instead of saying, okay, uh, Buddha also used to hug, I can think of it. He was more American than Indian. Uh, but but he was very mindful. Instead of hugging the mother, he said, yes, I understand your problem. I will solve your problem. First, go to every villager, find out if no one died. He has been full of compassion. Think of those examples, uh, how you can be compassionate to others. Mudita. So the word mudita is a joy, happiness. It means pleased, I'm pleased. Rejoice, delighted, I'm happy. Are you happy? Were you happy in the morning? No, don't answer me. I'm not saying, but answer yourself. The seeker remains glad, happy, and enjoy in changing in the outer changing conditions of life. One, and keeps his goal of self discovery in the state of cheerfulness. Now, see the word mudita. If I see antonym, it means it is against suffering, envy, jealousy, and I can add it, having a big face. The mind changes its state instantly the moment it finds difficult, unfavorable conditions in life. Many people say, I say them they have a physical pain. I said that is why I skipped meditation. I said you should never skip meditation if you have a pain. I have told you a couple of times. But some people refuse. How dare you say that? I have a pain. Don't you understand that? Oh, now I understand. Yes, you have a lot of pain. Plus anger, plus reaction also. So I ask those guys, are you not understanding or am I not understanding? You see difference between being a seeker and not being a seeker. So there the mudita helps you. Mudita helps you. Yeah, used to happen in all places. Sometimes people understand. I take one group session for Eastern Europe. There are about 15, 20 people there. She's extremely intelligent, no doubt. She has been doing the practice almost for the last almost 5, 6 years. So last month, she was playing with her cat. She was listening. She was playing with her cat and she was doing the practice. And then she asked me the question. I refused to answer. Why should I answer the question? When I refused, she got upset. And then I asked that, are you a seeker? Yes. What are the qualities of a seeker? During the practice of meditation, you are going to pet your cat. Your mind is already out. How can you succeed? And then you're asking me a question. I will not answer. I'm not responsible, obliged to answer all the questions. Mudita. He realized, he said, no, I will take care of that from the next. But sometimes people get upset when I speak like, okay, that is the part of cultivating mudita in daily life. First step to understand that Outer conditions in the world of people, place, time are given to us to evolve and accelerate our evolution. It can be done by discernment. Second step, our relationship with the world outside is a nature's design to help and support us in our evolution. You see, now I'll be happy. How come I'll be happy? Someone gives me a pain. I endure that pain instead of reaction. Why? Because that is the way the process of evolution. I take the necessary action, what is required outside. Third step is to educate the mind that the pain and the pleasures, sorrow and the happiness, profit and the loss enters life for tolerance. It is the point of austerity in my life, discipline to lead life. I am disturbed by you, so I take divorce to remarry again. So you have already planned everything in life to get more stress. I don't agree with you. First think, then you should not agree with me. So, why many masters create difficult conditions by going to the woods and to the Himalayas to discipline and educate their mind? They don't marry, they are single, so they have to live into those extreme conditions to endure so that their mind becomes purified. Can you imagine? My master who lived in Himalayas, so 6 months you cannot reach there. So he used to live in the cave. So all the food was finished. So what he has to eat? So for 2 months he used to eat the sand to give the mind a fake understanding that okay, you are eating the food and you will survive. So he could survive for 2 months. You're not affected by the outer conditions of the world. So how do I know? There are 90 years old people who told me this, these stories. When you are the highest level of a seeker, then it doesn't affect you. The seeker is cheerful in opposing conditions of life and do not allow the mind to be dictated by them. So now what the master is saying, who are righteous people, who are full of virtues, it is always good to be in the state of the joy. Someone comes to you, I'm very religious. So look at their face first. But even when they say they are very religious, be very happy. No argument. You don't start saying, how dare you are religious? Because I have my own opinion. So keep your opinion within yourself. Don't try to teach others when they are not ready. They already told you they are religious. I used to go to Quakers meeting, Methodist church to give a talk in New Jersey. Do you like Jesus? I said, I like Jesus more than anyone. How come you are not a Christian? I see my master in that in that cross. Finished. And it's a genuine, it's original. Modita. Now coming to the fourth one, what is upeksha? Upeksha, upeksha, to see beyond. So normally it is translated as indifference. But the real state in the mind is equanimity of the mind. Randy, we teach only these four principles again and again in a different way through the examples. Look at those kids, what will happen to them? And followed by small practices. You can pick up these principles from anywhere. It translates, upeksha is translates as the Indifference, but the real meaning should be equanimity of the mind. Equanimity keeps the mind cheerful in all conditions. It is a state of mind. State of mind that is not affected by, again, the sorrow and the joy, profit and the loss, insult and the praise, gain and the loss. It takes the mind beyond love and hatred. Normally I can say it takes the mind beyond what is perceived by the sense organs. So you have a kind of equanimity. First step is discernment. Again, understand how to cultivate that quality. That process is hidden. They simply said why it is process is hidden. He has already explained the five sutras in the what is the method, what is the practice. So in those five sutras, we have a practice of discernment and dispassion also. First step is discernment of what is real and unreal. The discernment between pain and pleasure, love and hate, good and bad, attachment and detachment, changing and unchanging. Second step is to perceive the reality of the things, people and conditions. Buddha realized what is the reality of the birth and death. It cannot be, mother, son cannot be made alive. That is the fact and the truth. Now he has to install that truth in the intellect of a mother. Do you see that? That is the way the training goes. That is the way the teaching goes. Fourth step is to move the mind in equanimity to think, speak, and act according to outer events and condition. So you see that I can give you hundreds of examples. Sometimes, people start criticizing others. I have only one answer. Hmm, 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 hmm. So they should realize that I'm not interested. We normally feel, the other people will feel bad about it. No, never feel. I have a real life experience. She has been my wonderful student. So after 6 months, she is still my student. So after 6 months, last year, every Saturday on a weekend, I invite or I go to my siblings and sisters and brothers. There we drink and we go out of control, and then we start. I think, what you do? What do you mean by going out of control? It simply means you criticize, you react. She told me she realized why she is doing it. And she told me it is all about emptiness. I'm single. And then further, she told me what you taught me, that I must change this habit and must change this mind. And I now realize I can be friendly with them even without going to the party. She told me everything. She wrote me in the mail. Equanimity. She is much happier now. Life moves, life bound to move in favorable, unfavorable condition. We will understand unfavorable, favorable condition. Equanimity. You'll be surprised. These principles, this particular sutra and the four qualities and attitude is understood in Buddhism as Brahma Viharas. The word is used, Brahma Vihara. So we have lot of sects here in Buddhism in our country. So they teach you, uh, may there be peace for all. So they use the different English phrases. So they are, but you have to check it. Either you are singing these verses, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. So whether these recitation helps you to change your mindset or those dry statements, whichever is good, you can do it. So there are hundreds of verses in the mantras we have. I just told you, we did in the Upanishad first. But we Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvisha Vahe. I think I also spoke about it, Goddess Durga. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti Rupena Sanstita. Now you're reciting mentally or loudly with a meaning. What is the meaning? O Goddess, you are seated inside my heart as peace. That is why I do Namaste, Namaste, Namaste to you. Look at it. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Kantirupena Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Nama. So the second line is the same. That is why I do Namaste, Namaste, Namaste. What is the first? Oh Goddess Durga, you are seated in deep inside my heart as a pure consciousness. Now see, your mind is going back again and again with that meaning. All the four qualities can be cultivated. So you see that? So if your mom is annoyed, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matri Rupena Sanstita. Oh Goddess, you are seated in my heart as my mother. That is why I do Namaste, Namaste, Namaste to you. So if your mother is seated deep inside your heart, how can you hurt? Like this, there are hundreds of verses that helps you to reach to that state of these four qualities. And once we famous verse that we have been doing, Asato ma satgamaya. Now you have to visualize that. Asato ma satgamaya. I'm moving from the false to the truth. What is false? That I hate John. I like someone else. No, this is falsehood. You don't take it, literally, okay, I understood, false, to. Don't be philosophical. Apply that in your daily life. Do you have a disliking, a hatred for someone? Asatoma asatagamaya. How easy it will be to introduce to those students. Even the kindergarten student will understand. Do you like your mom? No. Asatoma asatagamaya. That should be the way yoga should be introduced to the kids. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma gamaya. So I was talking about Brahma Vihara. May all beings attain a happiness that is specially exalted. So it is the Patanjali that explains you deeply, and those who are realized and are great seekers in Buddhism even in current time. They will explain you what is the meaning of this line. So I will just put it, the Pancham Lama has created these phrases to use them to cultivate this. May all beings attain a happiness that is spatially exalted. So now you should understand with reference to what we have understood now. First, the state of the cheerfulness should be inside, cultivating that. And then you can use this. So you can give any meditation that you have learned from me, add this mantra, English mantra. Done. May they be separated from closeness and distance and attachment and rejection. Yes, we'll introduce. So, any question you have pertaining to? Oh dear. Now I started looking the beautiful smiley faces. That's good. So, 34th Sutra. Prachadharna vidharanabhyam va pranasya. Prachadharna vidharanabhyam va pranasya. Understand, literal meaning, and then we'll go. The first meaning of the first Sanskrit word is expelling. And with dharana, bhyam means holding back, keeping, stopping. Pranasya means the life energy. So, normal translation will be expelling the air or inhaling the air, holding it, expelling the air, holding it, or simply expelling and inhaling and expelling the air. But not Kapalbhati. That needs to be understood. Otherwise, he should have mentioned it is Kapalbhati, it is Bhastrika. So these practices were later development, and so we will understand. Now see, did you understand the previous sutra? Did you understand the previous sutra? Friendliness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Did you all understand? You don't need to study the next sutra. That is the sequence the Patanjali has made it. But when you have understood, I believe that you are going to apply. So that is why Patanjali says, okay, then Patanjali uses the word or, mean also or. He says, oh, did you get it? Yes, got it. Are you changing? Yes, I'm changing. Then you return back after a few weeks. I did not understand. It is not working. The master says, now let me guide you another. So this is the sutra pertaining to the breath. What is the goal? Remove the distractions to attain the state of cheerfulness, so that after removing the distraction and attaining the state of the cheerfulness, you can succeed in mindfulness or meditation. Did you get it? The goal of those four qualities to be cultivated so that the mind lives in the state of cheerfulness 24 by 7. So when you ask the mind, go into meditation, it goes there. It goes into meditation. And so now everyone is intelligent. But how much knowledge and wisdom you can hold on into your intellect and how much is applied in daily life is the question. So you have understood in a class, but when it comes to application, you forget it, you get frustrated. Again, you try. You have tried many times and you fail. Patanjali says, no problem. I have another solution. Provided you are a seeker, at least you are a minimum level of a seeker, you are ready to listen and ready to practice. That is why you see, or the word va is used. Prachadarna vidaranabhyam va, or he says it can also be achieved. What is achieved? Removing the distraction and the cheerfulness and all the obstacles can be removed. Can be removed by. So now we go and understand from the commentator. Commentator is very important. So I'm giving you a explanation by a commentator. Patanjali explained, what did he explain? That how distractions could be removed by changing attitude, cultivating four qualities in daily living. It is difficult when the mind is deeply attached, obsessed, and reactive to strong likes and dislikes. You see the same question. Uh, my two friends, I understand. You are my teacher. I love you. But your intellect is not settled. I'm giving a real life example. So, what is the meaning of that? When I say that, your intellect is not really settled, it means the way my two friends have reaction, enmity, strong dislikes against each other, one day you will also dislike me. It is your quality. So whenever they praise me, my ears stand up. I understand. Thank you, thank you. Finished. That is how you live your life. Why? Because the intellect is not fully settled in the wisdom. So, what should I say? You don't understand. I don't dare to say it. The instant disliking for me will result. Both of them. Both are very intelligent, extremely intelligent. Perhaps you may know that. So then what happens when the mind does not listen to it, the four qualities, then you have to understand a little bit about this breathing, how to do the breathing, and how the breathing helps your brain to clean up, mind to clean up for a temporary period. Understand, I'm stressing that. My master used to talk about this, and many other masters, they talk differently. Any practice of the breathing, even if you are doing it for 10 years, you cannot do it for 24 by 7, right? So you have to do it for a short while. That short while may be an hour. I used to do it for 45 minutes. So 45 minutes, 1 hour, but you have to be extra careful the moment you start doing it more than 9 minutes. A lot of other precautions have to be taken. Another question. Another doubt comes, no, for some people, even doing 1 minute will influence your brain and the mind. But for others, even 5 minutes of the practice will not help. So what should we be doing? How we should be approaching that breathing practice? So we need to understand extensively in detail what Patanjali is saying. Oh, did you get a chance to look at the image that I sent? in the email where you have seen a person sitting in a lotus pose with 72,864 energy pathways. Have you seen that? What a beautiful image that I got long back in 85, 86 from a Tantra master. He says, look at this. I have only recognized only 10 principal energy pathways. And our forefathers or masters have recognized, they have named all the 72,864 energy pathways. Have you seen that image, John? Think of it. Think of it, what they did. What they did. So, first, let us pick up one understanding and then, or you simply ask a question. Before that, I will uh, take up that in a other 4 or 5 sutras. They are not very. Prano virat prano destri pranam sarupasate pranuh surya chandrama pranamahu prajapatam. Atharveda, second oldest book. Prana is protector. Prana is Prano Virat. Prano is vast, infinite. Prana is protector. Prana is sun. Prana is moon. Prano Virat Prano Destri. Pranam Suru. So, prana is my inspiration. You see how these words are being used. So, is that prana that lives in the breath, how it inspires, how it is sun and the moon. Prano Virat Prano Destri. Pranam Sarupasate. Prano Surya Chandrama. That is why the prana is worshipped everywhere. So, one understanding this week, you can think of it that where there is a change, there is prana. I'm moving my fingers, fan is moving, prana is there. With where there is a change, whether it is material, sentient, or insentient being, prana is always there. So that is how we understand the very gravitation is also prana. The pull of the force of the sky is also prana. Where there is a prana, where there is a change, there is a prana. Am I a speaker? Yes. So that prana entered into the mind, becomes the mental energy, and that is why I became a seeker. You are a listener, your eyes are working, changing. So the mind, it entered into the mind through your ears, it became a mental energy, and that's why you are able to listen. Without prana, nothing happens. Second, you see, it is the same atomic energy which is used to produce a tremendous energy, and the same atomic energy can be put into a fusion and a fission process. I think perhaps the fission process was there in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It destroys. Same ability of prana is there. How? So how we explain symbolically, you have a spine. And sometimes we talk about spineless. It's a proverb. What is the meaning of spineless? I don't know. So spine. So the top of the head, the top point, what we say, it is the center of Shiva in Tantra. Tantra, Shiva. And the base of the spine, we say it is the center of Shakti, the power. We say kundalini or whatever we say. We are not going there. So now there is another word, Ram. Ram means the supreme consciousness that permeates everywhere. And there is another word, calm. Calm means desire. Desire of all kinds. Craziness, obsession, fantasies. So the center of calm is the base of the spine, right? I'm going to talk about prana. In fact, I'm just laying a foundation, right? And this is the center of Ram. Ram is real self, full of peace and happiness, love and wisdom. And calm is desire leads to delusion, anger, greed, depression, etc., etc. That is center of calm is the base of the spine, right? So this spine is just considered a hollow pipe in which the prana moves. In fact, that is the foundation of kundalini meditation. Does prana move by itself? No. It moves by the mind. Moves by the conscious mind, unconscious mind, right mind, good mind, bad mind, whatever you say. Right? Now, if this prana moves downward, your anxiety, your duality, your conflict, your stress level, suicidal tendencies, all the problem starts. When the same prana starts moving upward, calmness and peace, love and wisdom, clarity of understanding. Now the intellect which was hijacked is returned to its right place. How to do it? By this sutra. How to do that? By this sutra. Did you understand? So we are not focusing any chakra. We are not doing Kapalbhati. That is what you have done couple of the practices in Mondays, Thursdays sessions. Prachadharna Vidaranabhyam va. So what happens? You are using the breath through the mind. So for a temporary period, this prana starts moving upward. During that temporary phase, you start practicing meditation so that the obstacles do not disturb you. And once you have gone inside, then these obstacles are already gone by repeat practice. This is one aspect of it. Second aspect is associated with Laya Yoga. There is another school of yoga which is known as Laya Yoga. So people normally associate Laya Yoga with the Kundalini Yoga. Laya Yoga means simply where you merge the prana with the mind. That demands tremendous patience and endurance. When I say, are you ready to do it for half an hour? You say yes. So after doing for 5 minutes, your mind says, no, I cannot do it. Or your mind plays a trick. I'm doing it. I told you do it faster. I'm doing it. Your mind takes over you. You see that you will find lot of challenges with lot of your students who says, no, I'm doing it. I don't have any benefit. So I have to look deeply into that part. Why? How you are doing it. How you are doing it. I think we should stop here. And if you have any question, ask